This man, however, seeing his rival win, lost his head and the rope, tossed away his pole and plunged into the depth ever faster, a whirlpool of arms and legs. The marketplace became as the sea when a tempest pierces it. The people rushed apart and over one another, especially at the place where the body must hit the ground. Zarathustra, however, did not move, and it was right next to him that the body fell, badly maimed and disfigured, but not yet dead. After a while, the shattered man recovered consciousness and saw Zarathustra kneeling beside him. "What are you doing here?" he asked at last. "I have long known that the devil would trip me. Now he will drag me to hell. Would you prevent him?" "By my honor, friend," answered Zarathustra, "all that of which you speak does not exist. There is no devil and no hell. Your soul will be dead even before your body. Fear nothing further." The man looked up suspiciously. "If you speak the truth," he said, "I lose nothing when I lose my life. I am not much more than a beast that has been taught to dance by blows and a few meagre morsels." "By no means," said Zarathustra. "You have made danger your vocation. There is nothing contemptible in that. Now you perish of your vocation. For that I will bury you with my own hands." Our life is teeming with the lives of others. Online, on TV, on the big screen, on your phone, in the news, always and everywhere our vision is taken up by another. We may even use our time to proffer their success, encourage them with our money, even just grazing our eyes across them, letting their fleeting visage slip into our heads and go on with our day, is giving them some kind of due. In a life that is saturated with images of other people and our lives dedicated to watching them, we have to ask, what do they give us? Do they care for you like you care for them? While we perpetuate their dreams, who sows the seeds for ours? While we do what we have to do to keep life on kilter, who does the job of searching for the dream that is out there for us? For the life you would live if you knew exactly what it looked like, if you knew the exact price of it, if it were made easy. We are unknown to ourselves, we knowers, and with good reason. We have never looked for ourselves. So how are we ever supposed to find ourselves? How right is the saying, "Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." We know so much about the lives of others, but when we stop and think about another whose life we control day after day, what do we know of them? Are they a stranger? What are their dreams and fears? What hides in the shadows, waiting to be called to the light, to be exposed for its great beauty and passion and creativity? What if for once we chose ourselves, to invite the expressions that make us feel alive, become aware of the pieces of ourselves that become exuberant at one thing or another, and with those in mind have the sights of wonder and dream weaving to hand? Not only do they lure us away from our own happiness, for it is so easy to experience a proxy of happiness, the pallid leftovers of their happiness, some kind of misty, ephemeral image, your body making you feel as if you had done what is theirs. Not only do others do this, but they may also smother our dreams. The idea of having passions or a dream, many people hear such words and instinctively smother those who are speaking of them in their mind. To have dreams or a passion is foolish, quietly embarrassing. Has no one told them that fantasies aren't real? That dreams don't come true? Have they not felt the squeezing life does to dreams, until there is no oxygen left, and then they must float away desiccated and empty? When others do not get what their heart craves, the rest of us pay for it. For there is an ideal, the ascetic ideal, which demands that each of us be humble and modest and demure, that we must disappear into the crowd and adhere to a rigid politeness. What we must acknowledge is that in each of us are drives and passions that brim to the surface, to travel the world, take daring risks. These are within us whether we like them or not. Often we are expected to hide what makes us feel alive, to stuff it deep down inside to rot because it is unbecoming. If you listen, inside of you there is a call for more. Notice how your mind disguises your dreams as your greatest fears. To take the plunge is presented as drowning. The greatest, most powerful thing in our lives is ourselves. And when we become our own jailer and believe our own shame and inadequacy, there is no one who can unlock the door but ourselves. Whom do you call bad? Him who always wants to make ashamed. What is the most humane thing? To spare anyone shame. What is the seal of freedom attained? No longer to be ashamed of oneself. Become a yes-sayer to your passions that arise and stop denying yourself. Turn them into creative expressions. If you find inspiration in something, create what it spurs in you. There is nothing more beautiful than seeing something you know to be of your own heart out there in the real world by your own doing. But remember, when you think of what you care so much about, do not forget the joy it brings in you. That is real. There is something there that makes walking the tightrope joyous. If you live your life in the direction of your passions, if you choose to live dangerously, you will always find yourself in lively company, and you will end up with the compass needling ever closer. Becoming who you are, unburdening yourself, you will recognize that your fondest memories include this. The times when you have curled over laughing at something, your belly tearing with each laugh, pure joy. When the hours have floated away as if they weighed nothing because you are enraptured by something you truly care about. Or you have felt the overwhelming stilling of the heart, the heady sting of failure, but woken up the next day as if you had succeeded. Know that your success is out there, and to struggle for it in any way you can is noble. For you may say, but won't I embarrass myself? Won't others become prickly at my need to live as myself? And of course they will, and it will hurt. Life is continually shedding something that wants to die. Following your heart and your dreams, listening to yourself and what you desire, you will notice how familiar, how beautiful it feels to know yourself and to live for yourself. Living this way, it is the antidote to life, but it is also its poison. It is the fast-acting poison that kills off what is not helping you. Here begins the countdown for what must be dropped as dead weight. At the heart of following yourself, you begin to live actively, for one must have chaos in one to give birth to a dancing star. I tell you, ye still have chaos in you. You have this chaos in you. Remember that you cannot grow hard and rigid. Let what is not active and full of life die and rot in its passivity, rather than give groaning life support to it. Move so fast that whatever cannot tense its muscles to hold on will float off to become a speck in the night, while what remains grows ever stronger. Where is the lightning to lick you with its tongue? Where is the frenzy with which ye should be inoculated? Bring frenzy and newness into your life and hear how your heart calls for it so timidly, believing you will never rise to it. How it disguises your growth as fear. Try what makes you terrified, knowing you will survive, knowing that the voice in your head is no master, and with this your old skin is grated away by the harshness of life, and what remains becomes steelier and more flexible. What makes heroic? To go and meet simultaneously one's greatest sorrow and one's greatest hope. This passion for life and ourselves, the beautiful dance that we perform on the tightrope, is not all that there is. As the tightrope walker masterfully demonstrated for us, there is also the great drop that is life, that is failure, that is death. We affirm creativity and beauty and passion in the face of terrible hardship and tragedy in life. Nietzsche celebrates the Greeks who, facing up to the terrors of nature and history, do not seek refuge in hating of life and the denying of passions and creativity, but instead created tragedies in which life is affirmed as beautiful in spite of everything. For all of our joy is performed in the face of death, failure, loss, humiliation, and every other arrow that will pierce your heart and slow down its flow into your passions. This is inevitable. It has met you already, and it will meet you again and again. What is there left to do than to make beauty of your tragedy, to live it for yourself and for those you love? Who has organized the chaos of his passions and given style to his character and become creative. Aware of life's terrors, he affirms life without resentment. Do not feel so bitter about the world and those that make it up. It'll do you no good to hate and hold jealousy in your heart. Instead, you must rise to the challenge of breaking your own personal monotony and congratulate yourself on taking the steps of living your own life, however hard it is. Because it will be immensely difficult. It is painful to live the life you want to lead. But think of the alternative, living a life of comfortable, easy complacency. In short, an excruciating life. Take the risk of choosing your own fate, and when failure waits for you at the bottom, know that its sting can never match the paralyzing numbness of having never tried. It is important to remember that life is small and finite. It is always better to perish chasing our dreams than to rot away from the inside slowly, enduring a life that we know is killing us. Because when we really know our own hearts, what other choice is there?